Candace, this is in playtime with the big boys and girls. You are out of your depth. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what it is that you're going through, but I am seriously worried about you on the other end. I think you need to understand those are the big boys and big girls. You probably need to get back to the small table because they don't play, okay? Now, Candace, you stepped onto a stage that isn't built for you. And that's the truth, Candace, and you know that. The weight there is heavy. The fire is hotter. The game is way more vicious than you can imagine. Playing small time debates on podcasts or YouTube is one thing, but that arena, it will eat you alive if you're unprepared. The big boys and the big girls you're chasing, they don't just play for clicks, they play for power. Those people are playing for power, okay? That's a level you have not been trained on yet. You can't fake it. Sanity doesn't survive long when you're trying to swim with sharks while still thinking like a groupie. Because that's basically what it is. You're acting like a little groupie and you're swimming around a bunch of sharks, you know, at best, man eating sharks at that. You confuse attention with dominance. Attention is not dominance, Candace. That's your undoing. Just because a crowd claps doesn't mean you're winning in the higher tier. Claps are distraction. Real power is silence, Candace. It's patient and it's suffocating. You don't see that yet. That's why it will cost you. You thought you were rising, but really you were being played. You're bait. You're a pawn. You're the easy move that the real players they sacrifice early to advance their end game. You see, the big boys and the big girls, they trade pieces like you without even blinking. I don't even think when they're getting rid of little pieces like you on the chessboard. Your name trends. Yes, it does. But what's trending isn't respected sometimes. It's a spectacle. They laugh, they mock, they screenshot, and then they move on. The ones you think are your peers, they're building empires while you're fighting for retreat. Never forget that. The ones that you think are your peers, they're not your peers. They own some empire building. They're builders, okay? Now, I heard you got flippant in one of your interviews, call yourself a builder, and I was like, oh boy, what is wrong with this little girl? Every time you try to punch up, you expose how outclassed you are. You, your shots don't land, they just echo in a chamber of people already agreeing with you. Meanwhile, the big players operate with reach, influence, and money that makes your voice look like background noise. The stress is showing. Candace, you can't mask it. The bigger you try to play, the faster the cracks spread. Once you break down in public, once the world see the fracture, the very people you thought you were playing with will tear you apart for sports. You think that controversy equal power. Controversy does not equal power, Candace. Never did. Controversy is a leash. You wear it proudly without realizing that someone else is holding the chain, girl. Big players use controversy when it benefits them and then discard the tool, which you happen to be one when they're done with it. They smile at you in public. Candace, behind closed door, you're a joke. The big girls don't respect you. They see you as desperate. Real talk, sister. The big boys, they don't respect you. They see you as disposable. That's reality. Sanity is the price tag on the game you're trying to enter. You don't have the discipline, the patience, or the armor for it. This isn't college debate, it's political war. Every war chew up amateurs. You're not sitting at a table with the meal. Every opportunity you think you're getting is a setup for someone else's feast. They're chewing up your brand, your voice, your face, and then they spit it out when you're dry. You mistake attention for validation. The big players, they don't need validation, my sister. They already run the room. You're like someone begging for a seat at a table where the meal was served before you even walked in. The deeper you chase this, the smaller you feel because each rug run of the ladder you climb reveal a higher run above it. By the time you realize you were never meant to reach the top, your sanity will already be casualty, Candace. Candace, the big boys and girls are ruthless. They don't cry, they don't beg, and they don't break when pressure hits. You already cracking from the shadow of pressure. They haven't even turned their full force on you yet, and they have not. The headline you chase today will bury you tomorrow. You think you're the one writing them, but no, they're writing you. The narratives own you, not the other way around. Playing big means having armor. No tweet, no Instagram, no podcast. Real armor, network, money, influence. You don't have that. You just have noise, and noise doesn't last. You want to be the queen in a game where the queens don't get crowned, they get captured. You're chasing a throne that doesn't exist for you. When you figure that out, the troll will already be taken. See, by the time you realize you ain't gonna get far in that game you're playing over there, you're not, my sister. The troll would have already been taken. Candace, people clap for you the way they clap for clowns, loud but never respectful. Laughter can sound like applause, but is it horror? You're confusing the two. Sanity slip when you chase approval from wolves. That's exactly what you've been doing for a minute. How do we know you've been chasing approval from wolves? You've been coming at anything that's melanated just like you. You keep running into the den thinking they'll welcome you as one of them. They'll never welcome you, my dear. They won't. They'll tear you apart for entering. You already at the edge of unraveling. Your words get sharper but less coherent. Your tone more bitter but less strategic. That's not power. That's the early stage of losing your grip. The small lane you came from wasn't bad. In fact, it was safe. You had a voice, you had control, you had stability. But ego made you believe you could jump into a fire without learning how to withstand the heat. The big boys and girls have scars you don't see. They've been burnt, betrayed, slandered, and still stood. You, one misstep and you're collapsed because you came unprepared. Candace, every alliance you think you have is shallow. They'll keep you around while you're useful. But when the game shifts, you're the first one sacrificed. That's how the big league work. You brag about fighting battles you don't understand. But every word you speak just show your lack of depth. And the higher the stake, the more fatal that ignorance becomes. Power isn't a spotlight, it's leverage. You have no leverage, Candace. You just have volume, and volume fade when people get tired of the noise. The more you push into this game, the more the mirror will shatter. You're looking at yourself one day and not even recognizing who you've become. That's what chasing giants without preparation does. Candace, you keep thinking you're playing chess, but you're the pawn being moved. You get it? You're the pawn, my dear. Pawns don't control the board, they get sacrificed to protect the real piece. That's the role you've chosen. You haven't won anything by stepping into the space. You've only exposed yourself to collapse, and the people watching know it. They're waiting for the inevitable fall. Go back to the small. Go back to the small table, Candace. Go back. Regroup. Recalibrate. And keep your head down and learn what is dangerous for you not to approach it. Go back to the small table, Candace. Not because it's shameful, but because it's safe. Because at least there, your voice still matter. Your sanity is intact. Your name isn't being carved up by the wolves. This isn't playtime. This isn't your league. This isn't where you belong. Walk away now or watch your sanity fracture piece by piece until you become the very punchline you swear you'll never be. Candace, your ambition is loud, but loud doesn't equal strong. The people who truly hold power move silently, pulling string while you scream into a microphone. You expose your every move while they operate unseen. That's why they'll always stay ahead of you. You think every clapback makes you bigger, but it makes you more predictable. The big league don't reward predictability. You're predictable. They don't reward that. They punish it. Every reaction you give is just more proof you're not running the game. You're being run. The more you posture, the clearer it is you're acting. You see, the big boys and the big girls, they don't posture, they embody. They don't need to prove dominance with every sentence because they dominate. You, Candace, are still begging to be seen. The stress will eat you from inside before the crowd even notice. Sleepless night, overthinking, paranoia, all of it. That's the tax of chasing a role you want that wasn't meant for you. Your mind won't survive the game you're trying to play. In the small league, your voice was sharp. In the big league, it's background static. The higher you climb, the less weight your words carry because your influence doesn't scale, it dilutes. You confuse chaos with strategy. Chaos grabs attention. Strategy holds the throne. You've mastered noise, but not control. Without control, you'll always be treated like a temporary distraction. Look around, Candace. The ones you call your peers don't treat you as an equal. They use you as a mouthpiece, a diversion, a fire starter. When the fire spread too far, they'll blame you, not themselves. Power is about surviving the storm, not creating them. The big boys and girls weather pressure because they know how to play decades ahead. You're still trying to win today. That short term thinking will bury you tomorrow. Every stage you step on feel bigger than the last, but every stage you step on also expose your weakness. That's the paradox of chasing power without preparation. The higher you rise, the more visible your cracks become. Candace, pride will be your executioner. You won't step back because you've told yourself you can't retreat. But the longer you fake strength in a league you don't belong, the harder the collapse will be. In this world They are predators and prey. You keep trying to act like a predator energy, but every move you make scream prey. You don't realize it yet, but they already mark you. The public isn't laughing with you, they're laughing at you. You think you're in on the joke, but you're the punchline. That's what happened when you chase respect from people who would never give it. Sanity breaks when the game turns personal, and it will. They will drag your name, your family, your past, your future, everything. The big players survive it because they're built for it. You aren't. Your foundation isn't steady enough for this. The big boys and the big girls can take this blow because their roots run deep. Yours are shallow, and the wind you're walking into will uproot you fast. Candace, look at the track record. Every amateur who tried to leap into the big league without armor end up broken, forgotten, or humiliated. History isn't on your side. You're not the exception. You want to play giant, but giants don't need validations. Giants don't need to announce themselves. Giants are recognized without trying. If you have to keep proving you belong, you don't. The ones you're chasing already see you as a liability. You're too emotional. You're too reactive. You're too unpredictable. They can't rely on you. They can only exploit you. That's all you are to them. The higher you climb, the lonelier it gets. You're not building for isolation. You need the noise, the constant attention. Without it, you break. That's not strength, that's dependency. Candace, your downfall won't be external, it'll be internal. Ego, insecurity, fear, pride. Those are the cracks that will split you open long before any opponent does. You're you are your own enemy here. The big girl role you're chasing is a crown of throne. It looks shiny from afar, but it bleeds the head that wear it. The big players endure it because they're built tolerance for the pain. You haven't. Every stage bigger than the last will demand more from you, more patient, more intelligent, more composure. You don't have that, survivor, Candace. You're already burning out on fume. You confuse trending for trumpet. But trending is temporary, fleeting, gone by tomorrow. Trumpet is triumphant is permanent. You haven't built anything permanent, just sparks that fades. The more you push into their world, the less of yourself you'll recognize. You've been chafed, compromised, mutilated until you're a shadow version of the person you once were. That's the price of chasing shadow. Candace, big league don't forgive mistake. In the small game, slip ups are content. In the big game, slip up are career enders. You're not disciplined enough to avoid them forever. You're playing poker with people who can buy the whole casino. You're betting pennies while they're moving billions. That's not a competition, that's suicide. The respect you're chasing will never come, not because you don't fight hard, but because you don't fit. They don't see you as part of their class, and you can't force them to. Sanity is the last thing you're holding on to. It will slip quietly. One day you'll wake up, realize you've been broken in ways you can't repair. That's what chasing power without foundation does. The people cheering now are the same ones who will record your collapse. They're not loyal. They're not. They're entertained. When you crash, they'll cheer even harder. Candace, step back. while you can. Retreat isn't weakness, it's survival. Go back to the small table where your voice matter and your mind stay intact. Because in the end, this isn't playtime. The big boys and big girls aren't here to help you grow. They're here to break you. And if you don't leave, they will show you the door. Candace, every day you stay in this game is a day closer to your collapse. The pressure doesn't lessen, it multiplies. What feels heavy now will feel unbearable tomorrow. Eventually, you won't be able to carry it. You wanted the title of big player, but the title means nothing without infrastructure. You don't have an empire, you don't have a network, you don't have deep roots power. All you have is noise, and noise fade. The higher you climb, the harsher the spotlight. Every flaw, every mistake, every contradiction get magnified. You won't be allowed to stumble quietly. They'll broadcast your downfall on the largest stage possible. Candace, ignorance made you believe you were ready. But ignorance is just ignorance dressed up in confidence. Ignorance is the big league, is death sentence. You walk into a battlefield thinking it's a talent show. It's not performance. It's about survival. Survival requires tools you never built. The big girls you think you're chasing, they built their power over decades of scars, betrayal, and sacrifice. You want to shortcut your way into their rank, but shortcut only leads to trap. Every alliance you made in this world is temporary. These people don't do loyalty, they do leverage. And once your usefulness dries up, so does their support. The applause you get today is poison. It tricks you into believing you're growing when really you're shrinking. By the time you realize it, you'll be too deep to climb back. Candace, the big leagues require resilience, not just words, not just bravo, but the kind of inner steel that survives when everything else collapses. You don't have that yet, and the game won't wait for you to develop it. You entered this space thinking it was a competition. It isn't. It's war. And in war, amateurs don't survive. They're the first casualty, the first name forgotten. Candace, you wanted to stand along the giants, but you didn't notice giants crash what's beneath their feet. You're not standing with them, you're standing under them. In this big league, silence is a weapon. You, on the other hand, can't stop talking. Every word you drop is breadcrumb for your enemies to follow. You crave respect from people who only deal in power. Respect isn't given, it's extracted. And you don't have leverage to extract it. Candace, your worst enemy isn't opposition, it's the mirror. Because deep down, you know you're not built for this. And the truth hurt you louder than any critic. You don't realize it yet, but they're already planning an exit for you, my dear. The same stage they lift you on, they'll use to drop you. The audience will cheer as loud for you when you fall as they did when you rise. Playing small isn't failure, it is safety. But you mistook safety for weakness, and now you're leaped into the fire that will consume you whole. Candace, the more you focus yourself into this game, the more you lose the essence that made you stand out. You blend into the noise until there's nothing left but exhaustion. The people who clap for you today are temporary fans, not permanent allies. When you break, they won't pick you up. They replace you with the next loud voice. The higher you climb, the less human you're allowed to be. Every slip will be weaponized, every weakness exploited. You're not emotionally armored for that reality. Candace, you're mistaken visibility for victory. Just because they see you don't mean you won. Sometimes visibility just paint a large target on your back. The higher the stake, the more ruthless the rules. You're still playing with passion while they're playing with policies, money, and long term influence. That's a mismatch. That mismatch, it will break you. You think you're feared, but you're only tolerated. Fear commands silence. Tolerance comes with smirks and whispers. That's what surrounds you. Candace, they don't see you as competition. They see you as entertainment, my dear. And when entertainment is over, so is your relevancy. You've built a brand on provocation, not strategy. Provocation without a purpose always burn out. The flames don't last when there's no foundation under them. In this league, words are contract. You can't backtrack. You can't soften. You can't escape. Every sentence you have spoken will return to haunt you. Candace, every time you try to play bigger, your smallness is revealed. Not because you don't fight hard, but because you fight blind. Blind fighters don't last long. The higher the mountain, the colder the air. Your lungs built for aptitude, patience built for storm. You've rushed into an environment your system can't handle. You can fake confidence, but you can't fake composure. And the cracks in your composure are already spreading for the world to see. Candace, the wolves around you aren't your friends. They're predator, awaiting for the right time to feast. And you're ready, bled too much to hide from them. The throne you're chasing is empty. It's already owned, and the owner won't let you sit even for a second. They're break you for dare trying. Every new stage is a battlefield. Every battlefield demand casualty. Without power, without armor, without foundation, you're first in line. Candace, the price of staying here isn't just your career, it's your peace of mind, your identity, your sanity. All three are slipping faster than you admit. You've mistaken their invitation for respect, but they don't invite equal, they invite prompts. Right now, you're just a prompt in a show you've never controlled. When they gave you the invitation, you thought, oh, no, big players don't do that. Everything around them need to make sense. Everybody around them serve a purpose. And when that individual stops serving that purpose, they let them go. Okay, that means you're done. This is your exit point. But somehow in your little warped mind, you thought that you were part of you were part of the machinery. No, you were just a pawn. You know. The big boys and big girls want you to stand with scarf that make them ruthless. You skip the suffering and jump to the spotlight. That's why you won't survive. See, what people don't understand, the big boys and big girls, they have scarves you cannot see. They have been humiliated. They have been kicked out. They've been spit on. They've been all kind of things you can never imagine. They don't been yelled at. They don't been put down. They don't been hurt. They don't had so many like, oh, what's had me there. And that's how you learn. You learn through mistakes, and they've made a lot of mistakes, and they learn, and they have been chastised and everything. Okay, Candace, your downfall will be public, humiliating, and televised. That's how the game handlers overreach. They're making an example out of you for the next one watching. You're not playing chess, you're being played. Every move you think is yours was predicted 3 steps ago. You're dancing to their rhythm while believing it's yours. The spotlight is addictive, but the addiction is destructive. The more you crave it, the more it drains you. And by the time you're done, you have nothing left. Candace, retreat isn't shameful, it's survival. Go back to where your voice still has power before the leagues turn it into rubble. Because, make no mistake, this isn't your stage. It isn't your arena. It isn't your destiny. Your guests in the house built to swallow you. Candace, this isn't playtime with the big boys and big girls. This is war. You're not ready. Step back. Watch your sanity become the final casualty of your pride. Basically, Candace, you are playing with the big boys and big girls. Now, I don't know if you know that. Everything around them makes sense. Their whole life is planned. Their future is planned. People around them is planned. Everyone that comes around them is there for a purpose. There's a machine behind them. They're not just willy-nilly out there on a lynch. So what I'm saying here, you're good where you at. Far as on a small table. You might need to sit on a small girl table for a while. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing shameful with that. My advice to you, just get off in the big light. I don't know if you understand what's going on right now. It doesn't seem like you're well attuned or aware of anything. It's okay to be humble and keep your head down. And it's definitely okay to keep your mouth shut. It's okay. You know, don't let your ego and your pride write a check that you would not be able to cash. Basically, get out of them people face. Leave them alone. You don't did a lot of damage. You don't shit on the people that look like you. You don't set the most. You've been so divisive on that end. They had you over there spraying manure from where you come from, spraying it on people that look like you, saying the most, and then they got you over here. I don't know what kind of dance they got you over here doing, sis, but word to the wide. Step to the side. Get back at the small table. It's okay. Go play with the small little girls and little boys. Where we like, oh, it's a she. Oh my God, look at that. But that table, wee, yo, and I peep game when you like I'm like, oh, you're a Mason. Oh shit, Mason in where? In America? Black? What? Candace, you play too damn much, girl. You quit playing with people. Anyway, thank you for watching Luco T Podcast. Your host, Manishka Jessica. Thank you for watching Luco T Podcast. Bye.